Hello, it's Diana Marchand from Raw Foods Made Simple, and welcome to How-To-Thursday. This Thursday, it is chocolate. So I'm excited about this because I love chocolate. I've had a high raw day today, and I get to have chocolate after this. I'm making chocolate almond bark. That is something I always used to love, but it is so good with raw chocolate, and it's pretty good for you. Simple ingredients. It's all about keeping it simple and fast, right? So here we go. Now, I usually use agave warmed, but what I'm going to try today is I ground up some coconut sugar. So we're going to try that as our sweetener. I have a little bit of powdered vanilla. I have my cacao butter melted right here. Now, you have to buy cacao butter. Here. This is what it looks like. These are the ones I like, the wafers. They melt really nice. This one, Harmonic Arts, is on Vancouver Island, so I'm not sure if you can get it anywhere else, but anyways, cacao butter is needed. And then I have, of course, the chocolate, the raw cacao powder. Absolutely. Now, if you don't have cacao in you, but you have cocoa, you can use that, but then, you still need your cacao butter, for sure. And a bowl, a dry bowl. So, I kind of measure as I go. Oh yeah, and then we're going to add almonds and a few raisins. That's what you can put any nuts. Great way to use up old nuts or some nuts that you have in your fridge. Okay, so cacao powder, we're going to start with the chocolate. I'm just throwing some tablespoons, heaping tablespoons. That's 2 heaping, 3, 4, 5 heaping. That's what I'm just going to make for this demonstration, okay? So let's try that. 5 heaping. I'm just going to kind of break up the lumps a little bit. And then some vanilla powder. A little bit of that. You can put a bit of salt. I'm actually out of Himalayan salt. Yeah, I know. Anyways. Okay, and then, yeah, that's good. Let's stir. Okay, now I'm going to add some sweetener. I'm just going to estimate how much I need. This is powder, so 1. And maybe 2 flat tablespoons. That's what I'm going to use to start with. Make a bit less. Let's do 1.5. I don't like it too sweet. Okay. Stir it. Okay, now the cacao butter. So the liquid. Ooh, let me get this one cleaned. Now I did 5 heaping tablespoons, so I'm going to do more than 5 tablespoons of cacao butter. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 6. Let's try that. 6. And these are flat, of course, because it's liquid, right? Flat tablespoons. And I'm going to just start stirring. Stirring. Now, right now, I can probably taste if it's sweet enough. Have a taste. You know what? It's pretty good. I'm maybe going to add just a touch more of the coconut sugar, but really it doesn't need much more. And blend that in. It's basically a process of stirring, getting out the lumps. Now this is not tempered chocolate. That means that I would have to bring it up to a certain temperature, then bring it down to a certain temperature, etc. Tempering's great, and your chocolate lasts like a regular chocolate bar on the counter, but it's time consuming. So here, this is going to be kept in the freezer, and when you want a piece, you just break off a piece and take it out of the freezer. So that is how you're going to consume this. I mean, it will last on a counter for a little bit too, but it's not going to last like a regular. It will melt faster than a regular chocolate bar. Okay, so I'm going to just keep stirring. And because I see it getting harder on the bottom of the bowl, this bowl has a bit of hot water in it. So I'm just going to put this, so it's like a double boiler in a way. I'm just going to stir the chocolate in some warm water, and that'll help it soften again, and so it won't want to harden so fast. So it's a lot of stirring, as you can see. Oh, this looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to just show you. I know I'm doing the video myself, so it is kind of hard. There is the chocolate. Here, I'll pour it. See, that's a pretty good thickness. If it's too runny, then add more cacao powder. What you also want to do is taste it. If there's too much cacao butter, the fat, it's going to taste too oily, too fatty. there's too much of the cacao powder, the chocolate part is going to taste too gritty and too chocolatey. I think I'm going to add a little bit more cacao butter because it tastes a little bit too chocolatey, like not enough. You can tell there's not enough of fat in it. And really do it to your taste too. So this is 7 tablespoons to the 5 heaping tablespoons of powder. Now, if you're making it for guests, don't use your finger. This is only going to be for me, so I'm using. That's good. That's really good. Okay. So now I have my chocolate. There it is. And as this sits at room temperature, of course it's going to harden. So if it's a little runny, but you like the flavor, then you just kind of let it sit at room temperature a bit, and it will harden. Get a little harder. Put these aside. So how I melted the cacao butter was I put my wafers in this little jar. Then I put this jar, which actually has a lid so that moisture doesn't get in, and I put that in a container with really hot water. And I let it sit until they all melted. That is how you melt the cacao butter, or you can do it on your stove in a double boiler. What I'm going to use for the bark is just a plate. It has a bit of a, you can see it there, a dip in there. So what I'm going to do is just pour the chocolate onto my plate. Or you might do a baking dish or something. You can, of course, put the almonds and stuff in it, in the mixture itself, in the bowl. I'm just going to add it to my plate. Then I can really see how much I have on the board. So I used a knife and I rough cut these almonds. You can use a food processor, but it'd probably get them really fine. So I would, whatever nuts you choose to use, hazelnuts, pecans, whatever, do it by eye. And you can use any kind of dried fruit. You don't even have to have dried fruit. I just feel like a couple raisins in here. So yeah, you can do that, or dried cherries would be really good, or blueberries, of course. Cranberries, goji berries, that's what I'm going to add. Okay. And then, depends on how many nuts you like. It doesn't matter, just how much nuts you like, in your chocolate. So, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to eyeball it here. Oh, this is going to be so good. Then you put it in the freezer, 10, 20 minutes, and then it'll be frozen. So that's what it looks like right here. Get as close as I can. Then I'm going to make sure it's flat in the freezer, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like after. Hello again, Diana from Raw Foods Made Simple, and I'm showing you the almond bark that was in the freezer. It's only been in there maybe 10 minutes or so, but I'm pushing it. Okay, so here it is, frozen. As you can see, it's frozen, solid. So, how am I going to get out of here? Just going to break it apart. There's one little piece. Then when I get a little piece, there we go. You see how I just lifted that up? And then I got a big piece. See? There we go. Might need a little bit more time in the freezer, but it works perfectly the way it is. So there you go. There's the pieces. We're just going to take some pieces of the almond bark, break them up. You hear the snap? Cool. This is so good. So I added a few goji berries. Now, there we go. I'm just going to show you the bark. There you go. There is some delicious almond bark. Anxiously waiting to try it. It's really good. Super fast and easy too. So you just keep it in the freezer. Okay. So cacao powder is bought at a health food store in a bag. You can also add, these are coconut chunks, raw coconut chunks. You can add raw coconut chunks. Should have added it to that. I love coconut. And then here's the goji berries that I had, and you can add goji berries. Like I said, any kind of dried fruit. And remember the cacao butter, you can buy wafers or in a big brick, and you need that. But you can use just plain coconut oil, although this will melt very fast. It freezes totally fine and you can eat it, but it will melt much faster using just coconut oil without the cacao butter also, okay? So there you go, chocolate bark, I hope you make it super fast, super easy, and very yummy. Thank you.